Shrouded in controversy, leading Republican gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson is back in the hot seat after regularly criticizing Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil rights movement for years on Facebook. In an alleged unearthed Facebook post, Robinson called the civil rights movement, quote, crap. Chief legal analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now. And Khalif, I want to go through the exact quote from 2017. It states, African Americans don't realize that the real civil rights movement started in the 1860s. That crap in the 1960s was the communist rise movement, obviously comparing the two big civil rights movement. But as a black man making these comments, what do you think, what do you read into that?
Well, what I can say is this is all before he became the elected official that we know him to be today. But I can say that we are in an era where those types of comments are things that help folks get elected, because if you think that was an isolated one-off event, you'd be wrong, because in his book, he doubled down and said, yes, I made those comments. Everything that I felt and believed at that time when I first created my Facebook page, I wanted to put it on out there on social media so people could hear it. I just think that this is an era that is rewarding folks for saying what they believe and what they speak, and not holding back. And folks are saying that that's them being genuine as opposed to them saying what's politically correct. You see it in the former President Trump being elected to the highest office in the land. And so he coins himself and looks at himself as someone that is more Trump than Trump. And so I put that comment right in line with something that I would expect for him to say.
And he's really making these comments now as he's trying to kind of resurface and kind of soften the rhetoric. I mean, would you agree? And I also want to be able to point, obviously, viewers who are watching right now, I mean, you can't know what's inside his mind,
right,
of course, but in terms of legally, is there any kind of like gray area here that we should be concerned about?
Well, what I can say is I can't look inside of his mind, but I can just look at it politically. This tracks online to what he would say and what he has said in the past. He made the comments about Israel and he got pushback. And so what did he do? He rolled back those comments slightly, then he went to Israel. So then I can turn a negative into a positive. That is politics 101 in terms of taking something that folks throw at you as a negative comment and making it a positive statement, and that's what he has done. I don't see him doing that here, because in the past, as an African American, he said, I am not an African American. He's went on record of saying that before, and so he has a history of making comments on the negative side at Martin Luther King's legacy. He had a history of making comments about the civil rights movement in terms of it being something that was a waste of time, and so these are comments that he has not attempted to roll back because he has not seen any blowback from it.
Well, one thing I do know, you know politics and you know the law. So I guess my question for you too is kind of piggybacking on that concept there. Does it work when you then go to Israel and you take these comments back and you all of a sudden say, well, hey, let's bring the tone down a little bit?
I think it does work when you have an opportunity to turn a negative into positive, for sure. I will say that. But I think he won't see any negative impact for his comments in the in the primary election, because the majority of the folks that are voting for him won't be turned off by those types of comments. They will directly be something that he'll have to address in the general election when you get to November, because the African American voting base, specifically African Americans in the rural parts of our state, will have a say in this election. And if you're saying that the civil rights movement was nothing, that Martin Luther King, someone that a number of African Americans idolized, it's nobody, that's going to be a problem.
And he hasn't shied away from it. He's made these comments for years, this particular one from 2017, so I'm sure he's also not surprised by the timing of all of this resurfacing as well. Khalif, thank you.